around 2 in the morning, rest is getting harder.
Firstly, thank you for taking time out of your day and allowing us to come and do this interview with you. Your office is looking pretty good. How's the renovation going? No problem at all. You're more than welcome. The renovation is taking a bit of time, but it's coming around slowly. We hope to have it complete in the next few days. So how are you settling into your new role? Hopefully very well. It's all come as a bit of a shock. Everything happened really, really quickly. I'm just glad to be at the club, and I believe firmly that I can take the club forward in a positive direction. Many pundits and fans thought that Rudy Garcia or even Steve Bruce may be sitting where you are now. How did the approach all come about? Well, I have to say I'm quite shocked that I actually did get the role, considering the contenders for the position. But of course, the approach came through my agent. West Ham made contact. He came to me, spoke to me. I had to go to the Palmeiro board of directors and say that the approach had come in. They were happy to let me go as long as compensation could be sorted out. We then sat down, spoke with West Ham, obviously. And Mr. Gold, presented a rather interesting offer, a fantastic offer to be honest, and a fantastic chance to manage a club that I played for many years. Apart from that, it was quite simple. All the negotiations were done over a course of 24 hours, and Bob's your uncle. I'm here. Having played some 250 times for West Ham and picking up numerous titles with the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Barclays Premier League, the Charity Shield, the Champions Cup, and of course, the odd Ballon d'Or, can you recall the day you signed for West Ham? Of course I can. It was the 31st of August 2013. Wow, that seems, it was such a long time ago. Basically, what happened was, I'd been made aware that a few clubs in England were interested. I was playing for Empoli at the time. I believe Arsenal and Chelsea were looking to come in and make an offer, but they didn't really make an offer during the day. And in the evening, I got wind that West Ham were having a look at me as long as they could, get a deal done. I believe Jarvis went in the opposite direction, and they paid quite a fee for me. But yeah, I mean, as soon as the call came in, my mind was made up. West Ham is a team that I wanted to play for, a team that I wanted to go to, and it was a challenge that I wanted to take on, and I couldn't wait for the opportunity. So when the phone call came in from my agent to say that the fee had been accepted and Empoli have agreed terms, it was just down to me to agree personal terms. It was quite a straightforward matter, and it was done in a matter of hours, and we managed to get in the documentation to please the FA, and I became a West Ham player. If you had to pick a moment in your time at West Ham that defined or was a hidden blessing in your career, what would that be? Oh, that is a tough question, considering what I won at West Ham. I would probably have to say the most defining time was when my head was turned by Barcelona and Real Madrid. I was playing well for West Ham at the time, and of course that led to speculation to me moving away. And when my agent rang me and said that Barcelona and Real Madrid were going to put in firm offers to West Ham, my head was turned. They're huge clubs, you have to remember. They are massive clubs, but I had a sit down with John. We had a really good discussion. He let me know exactly what he wanted from me. He said that, if you want to go, he won't stand in my way, but he said that he felt that my future lay at the club and that I could go on to be a cult hero, a cult legend, which, these are the things as a player you want to hear, that you can be a messiah at a club. And to be honest with you, it was the best decision to sign the 5-year extension. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. I enjoyed my time at West Ham so much, and John was a big part of that. If you were to pick from one of your 150 plus goals for the club, which would be the best or the most important? That's really, really easy to answer. I think my best and most important goal is actually the same goal, and it comes in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley against Everton. We were getting absolutely battered, to be honest. We'd gone into the game with high hopes that we could get to the final, but Everton had come out with this unbelievable pace and aggression and ferocity that it just took us back, and before we knew it, we were absolutely getting hammered, and we took the lead through Guidetti, scored a penalty, and then all of a sudden it was 3-1, and it was just shocking. And I can remember picking up the ball, and the one thing in my head was just get it off, get it on target, try and force a corner, because we'd had such great pressure on Everton, and instead of it going off for the keeper saving it, it just flew in a top corner from about 30 yards. It was just spectacular, and it gave us the catalyst to grab the game by the balls and take it to Everton, and I set up Gudetti just before half-time, so he went in at 3-3. Are you able to discuss transfers? Unfortunately, I'm not going to be discussing anything to do with transfers. As you know, my predecessor, Slaven Bilic, made a few signings before I joined the club, or before he stepped down. So for now, I'm quite happy with the current squad we have. If I'm looking to strengthen, it will probably be in the January transfer window or next summer. It depends how the season goes. But in regards to transfers, no, I'm not going to be prepared to discuss them. Do you think the squad is strong enough as it is currently? Yes, I do. At this current point in time, I firmly believe we have a strong enough squad to challenge on all the fronts that I want to challenge, and to deliver the results that not only the board want, but the fans want. Is it true that you're bringing in Gabs and Eduardo, former players of course, who you played with, as your number 2 and youth team coach? You boys in the media, I tell you seem to find this information out before it's even released officially from the club. But yes, I can confirm officially that Gabs and Eduardo will be joining me as my number 2. Gabs will be my number 2, and of course Eduardo, he'll be working with the youth development side. It was a no-brainer for me personally. I've stayed in touch with both of the lads, even after finishing my football, and even when I moved on after West Ham in 2021. It wasn't an issue. They're great lads, and we only finished the documentation literally a few hours ago before you boys turned up. So yeah, how you get hold of this information, I do not know. Finally, do you still have a good working relationship with your former manager John Locke, and of course with the current board who were in charge when you were as a player? Yes, on all fronts, to be honest. I keep in touch with John all the time. He's been a huge influence in my career. When I first took over at Parma, he was an absolute saviour. I could just bounce things off him, tactics, how to control players, how to look after players, how to love players, how to be harsh to players, how to discipline them. He's just been absolutely fantastic. Of course, he played a major role in me moving from Parma to Empoli, a team I wanted to go to, and when the offer came in, it was at a crucial point in the season for Parma. But he made the transition so simple, and he's been so supportive. And when we got the phone call about the West Ham job, I was straight on the blower to him, and he simply said, "If your heart says yes, just go." And I think he knew the answer before I knew the question to ask. And of course, I said yes without even thinking about it. And yeah, I'll be glad to I'll be very happy if he'll still lend me a hand while I'm here, but I'm sure he will. And regarding the board, of course, as a player, we had some issues, obviously, with the contract negotiations and the whole saga surrounding that. But the board backed John. To be fair, the board and John backed me. They kept me at the club, and they showed me great respect, and I'll be internally grateful for that. And of course, moving forward, now I'm in charge at West Ham, the board have shown me great respect yet again. And of course, I want to repay them back. And of course, more importantly, I want to repay back the fans, who supported me as a player. And now I get to do that by being their manager. And hopefully I can deliver the silverware the club deserves to have. So we have seen Slaven Bilic step down. We have now met the man who's going to be in charge of West Ham, taking them forward in FIFA 17. Hopefully enjoy Double Upload Wednesday. Until tomorrow, I will catch you later.